All right, let me talk to my entrepreneurs out there for a minute. The ones running on passion, coffee, and not much else. I see you. You got into this whole thing for freedom, right? To be your own boss. But now you feel like you're just trapped by the grind. So what if I told you that the very thing you think is a cage, structure, is actually the key that unlocks the door? Let's get into it.
So here's where we're headed. First, we're going to talk about that burnout, that exhaustion trap we all know too well. Then, we're going to flip the whole idea of freedom on its head and see why it needs a framework. We'll get into building systems for success, look at a real-life example of a powerful framework in action, and then we'll bring it all home to... Okay, first things first, let's talk about the exhaustion trap. You know that feeling? You're the boss, you call the shots, but you are just tired. All the time. That's the hidden price tag on this so-called freedom. Now, I want you to really let this sink in for a second. This right here, this isn't about you not working hard enough. Nah, this is a diagnosis. If you are constantly drained, that is not a weakness. It's a sign. It's a sign that your creativity, your genius is spilling all over the place because it doesn't have a container to hold it. And that leads us right to the main idea, the absolute heart of this whole thing. We gotta change how we think about structure. See, it's not a cage, it's a support system. It's like a trellis that helps a vine grow strong and reach for the sun. Look, I get it. Most of us started our own thing to get away from the rules, to break out of somebody else's box. So when we hear words like framework or system, we immediately think, nope, that's not for me. That's gonna cramp my style, hold me back. But here's the crazy part. It's the exact opposite. A solid framework doesn't chain you down. It protects your freedom. It puts all the boring, repetitive stuff on autopilot so your mind is free to do what only you can do, to create, to innovate, to solve the real problems. Think about it like this. A vine trying to grow on the ground, it just gets tangled up, stepped on, and it never really reaches the light. But you give that same vine a trellis, a simple structure, and all of a sudden it has something to climb on. It can flourish, grow strong, and actually bear fruit. Your business, your ideas, they're that vine. They need some support to really reach their potential. And man, the difference is like night and day. On one side, you got chaos, just wasted energy, and that leads straight to burnout. But on the other side, that same creative fire is channeled. It becomes art. It becomes focused energy. And that's where the breakthroughs happen. So you just got to ask yourself, which side of the street do you want to live on? So how do we get that order? How do we build that trellis? Well, that brings us to our next point. We have to move from just random acts of genius to building real, reliable systems for success. This right here, this is what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Come on now, you know this feeling. Waking up on Monday morning, looking at a mountain of work, and you got no clue where to even start? A system is your map. It's your playbook. It makes sure you're not constantly trying to figure out how to do the things you do every single week. This is the game changer right here. See, the amateur, they sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. But the professional, they build a machine that produces results. They don't wait to feel motivated. They have a process that gets them moving. That's why they're consistent. That's why they're dependable. And that's why they win. I mean, this says it all, doesn't it? You've already built a powerful vehicle with your business. Systems are what let you stop messing with the engine every day and actually get in the driver's seat and go somewhere. Okay, so all this theory sounds good, but what does a real framework look like when it's put into action? Let's take a look at a really powerful one. This is the Polymath Framework, and it was created by my man, Savon Gibson Sr. You can think of it as his personal operating system for life. And notice, it's not just about business. It's a whole model for how to live, how to lead, and how to serve with real purpose. So the whole thing is built on 5 core areas that all work together. You've got wealth, and that ain't just about money. It's about building a solid financial foundation for your family and your future. Then you have work, which is the engine, right? Where you apply your craft. Worship is your why, your spiritual foundation that guides everything. Wisdom is that hunger to keep learning, to always be growing. And finally, the wider world, that's about your legacy, making sure your success lifts up your whole community. And this is where the magic happens. Instead of your business, your family, and your personal life all fighting for a piece of you, this framework gets them all pulling in the same direction. See how that works? Your pursuit of wisdom makes your work better, which builds your wealth, all guided by your worship, which allows you to give back to the wider world. It all connects. That is how you build real momentum without burning yourself out.
So we've talked about the problem, we've looked at the solution, and we've even seen a real-world example. But now we come to the most important part of all. What does all this mean for you?
The takeaway here is simple, but it's powerful. You got to stop running your life and your business on guesswork and vibes. It's time to get intentional. It's time to build the container, the foundation that your big vision actually deserves. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Now you know the secret. You know that structure isn't a cage, it's your launch pad. So what's your trellis going to look like? What is the container that you are going to build to let your dreams finally grow as high as they were meant to? Think on that.